All right, we're back. 100 proof whitetails. That might flash, so just keep you guys posted. We're all good. Audio's coming through great. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and if you're listening to this after the fact, on Spotify. That's where Dylan said he listens. Apple Podcasts, and any place else. So, got a treat for you guys. This is actually our 2nd-year anniversary of doing the show tonight, episode number 48 that we've done. And we got two really, really cool bucks. Dylan's just hiding behind a bag of chips. Can't see everything that one's got going on, but want to welcome down Ryan, he's been on before, and Dylan, who had some success this year on the youth hunt. Welcome down, guys. He said he's a little nervous.
Hi.
Were you that nervous when the deer walked in?
No.
We said it was going to be entertaining.
Yeah, you are something. You know that?
So, but yeah, so I was fortunate to tag a nice buck, so we got a couple deer stories to talk tonight. And Dylan's request that he had to come on the show, I couldn't even fulfill for him. So I got him the next best thing. I got him Saranac root beer. He wanted A&W. but sorry I couldn't find it. Yeah. Yeah, but no, it was what? Just mumble mouthing it over there. It's all right. It takes a little bit of getting used to, Dill, by the end of it. It's just like when we were talking earlier and you were holding Nora and stuff like that. That's why we're getting a little late start to it. But, well, better no time than the present. You better tell us the story about what happened with this deer.
We were sitting there watching it doze across the field. We've been sitting there.
What were you sitting in?
A blind.
Who put up for you?
You.
Yeah.
Then we see flicker through the corn, the sun gets cut out, and my dad smacks my leg and points it out to me because I was looking at a doe across the field. And he yells at it a couple times, and
didn't want to stop.
No, didn't want to stop, and it got to the point where he just yelled as loud as he could at it, and it finally came to a stop, and it could have taken 2 more steps, and it would have been in the corn. And
where'd you hit him?
Both lungs.
I heard you put his lungs all over the cornfield by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you using for a gun?
6.5 Creedmoor.
6.5, dude. I know a lot of guys going to those 6.5s. Nate shoots a 6.5.
I'd kill the pile of deer with that gun.
Yeah,
my
buddy Keith, we were shooting the 6.5 at the range tonight, dude. We were pounding 3-inch plates at 300 with the 270 and the 6.5 tonight.
Killed 2 deer, one at 285, and the other one was I don't know, 305 or something like that. Just tack drivers.
Yeah. And then we got screwing around. We were at the range this afternoon. We were screwing around. I had my 357 to check that. And I'd put them, if I'm putting them fist size at 30 yards with it, I'm happy with that for a wheel gun with just a red dot on top of it. It's a 30-yard gun. But Keith's like, I bet you we could hit that iron buck down there. I'm like, what, 200? He's like, yeah. What do? We both go out there and we hit it on the first shot, and then we're trying to be Annie Oakley, and we can't freaking hit it again. Burnt half a bag of ammunition trying to hit that thing again. But yeah, Keith's like, I don't know, I figured I'd put it on it, and I'm like, maybe hold it about antler height. And I mean, the gun club's got a 20-foot berm, so you're not, gonna sky it over it or nothing. And he freaking shoots it, and I go, holy crap, you hit it. He's like, I gotta do that again. He ripped off another 4 or 5 shells and nothing. And same thing with me. I came up and first one, I missed the first one. He's like, dude, you were just low. And I was like, okay, good. Up a little bit. Boom. Ping. Holy smokes, dude. I'm gonna shoot a deer at 200 with that gun, but just fun time.
Still fun to see you did it.
But no. So the blind and everything, Dylan, did you have any part in setting that?
Yep.
Yeah. You pick your spot or something Ryan scouted for you first, or?
It was
a
mix.
Kind of. It's at a buddy of mine's farm. watched deer all summer, group of bucks together. Knew there was a couple nice ones in it. Didn't really have a ton of time. I didn't realize that deer was in it. But after going through some cell phone pictures that we took from a long ways away, we realized he was.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of went and was going to go on our farm, then changed our mind. And we kind of went on a whim, went to Bass Pro, bought a blind because at 12, sitting still is just
impossible.
Well,
and not really his forte.
Yeah, and you can't sit in a elevated stand or, even like a tower stand or anything like that. You got to sit on the ground.
And I just didn't, I don't know. I think the youth hunt's the best thing New York's done, in my opinion, especially for having a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, I got to somehow or another cover this up because he's like turkey hunting with him this spring was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's always moving.
Hey, sit still. I am.
Moving.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, like your legs right now, they're moving.
Yeah, just nervous.
So we set it up and we put it in the corn. It was in a wet spot in the corn. And after we got it in, and I realized that I wasn't really paying a whole lot of attention. I knew where the deer were coming out. And I said to him when we get done, I go, whoops, we put that right on a deer run that was going in and out of the corn. It was beat down to mud. I'm like, well, it is what it is. It's already in there now. Yeah. So we get in there in the morning, we're pulling in, and there's a doe with a broke front leg standing where I was going to park the truck. I'm like, this is cool. I love blowing deer out of where I'm going to go hunt.
Yep.
So we sat there in the truck for, I don't know what, probably 5-10 minutes, let her kind of wander off.
Mm-hmm.
We get walked down there, and he took corn stalks, didn't have ears on them, and tucked them around the blind. I mean,
brushed it in a bit.
Did a really good job with it. I didn't do any of that. He did it. We get sat down. We're in there picking on each other, going back and forth. Does come out back and forth. And of course, Dad forgot to get him his doe tags. So I don't know. There's nothing you're going to do about it. Yeah. So
right.
We're sitting there, and like he said, all of a sudden I catch like this guy. I mean, you think he'd hold it up so you could see it.
Yeah.
Is it like 25 yards, maybe 30? Cuts the sunlight off that's coming into the blind. Huh.
Yep.
And I look over and I'm like, oh, wow.
So he was coming, the big foreside coming.
Oh, what about, it was the messed up side.
Oh, gotcha.
Side showing,
yeah.
It was,
but I didn't.
This side was more obvious.
I mean, he was close, and I realized, like, I saw that.
Like, you could see the
whatever
you
want to
the
call
height,
this.
yep.
I saw it all, and the size of the deer was.
Well, the body was enormous, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We screwed up. The guy who took him to didn't have a scale to get him caped out. He said he would figured 220 all day long.
Oh, easy.
And I dragged a lot of deer, and I'm glad that one didn't have to go very far.
I helped you drag him around and take some pictures of him, dude. The deer is 200.
Yeah.
Bonafide 200 easy dressed.
Yep.
220 easy dressed.
So like Dylan said, it was kind of comical. It's all happening pretty quick, and I'm tapping him. I'm like, you got to get the gun out. I'm kind of leaned back because the deer's coming around in front of us. Huh.
Mm-hmm. And
I was, as a dad, I couldn't be more proud. Like, he shot distance. Like, he shot rifles with friends of mine I work with. Shoots pretty good for a 12-year-old, I think. A little biased, though, I think. And he got the gun up, was freehand in the blind because I forgot to shoot the stick too. So, and the deer wouldn't stop. I gave him a couple of the old meh, meh.
Just moseying.
He was well at that point. Like, I think he was starting to get a little, something was up, and I just gave him he stopped, and it's a good thing Dylan was ready because all I could see was about that much of the back of the deer. I couldn't see him anymore. It's a good thing we turned the blind the way we did. He shot,
Yep.
The mule kick of the century above the corn. I'm like, ooh, that looked good.
And I was sitting there for 15 minutes just shaking and couldn't stop.
I mean, I kind of had to lean back and not like it was dangerous. The gun barrel was out in front of me. I could see everything, side profile was pretty cool. And I'm waiting to see the gun barrel start doing this, amped up. Didn't move. It came up, went out the blind. He shot it, came back in. I'm like, wow. Like, when I was a kid, I can remember being 16, and I couldn't tell you how many deer I missed. But
well, sometimes, dude, when it happens so quick like that, it's almost better. Yep. There's no time to get a little wound up or a little bit, It's not like you got to watch them take that 200-yard walk
No,
across the field or something like that and come undone.
Tell you what, I wouldn't have wanted to sit there and watch that deer come in. Like just the size and just everything about him. I'm glad it happened the way it did.
Yeah. Well, the mass, dude, the deer had to have been 7 years old. The body was just unreal. Like, when people say 200-pound deer, it's like, yeah, that's over 200 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's
no doubt. That deer was enormous.
I really wish we would have got him on a scale. I screwed up there. There was a lot of things happening at once. He was supposed to be going to the youth pheasant hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, going to have their, whatever they do, the meeting they do prior.
Yep.
We didn't make that. He ended up going to youth pheasant hunt next weekend anyways and getting a bird. And kids had a lot of hunting in the past, month, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
So was that your first deer?
Yep.
I'll beat the hell out of my first deer.
My first deer was like a 4-point or 6-point. It was about like this,
Yep.
Yeah. I've never killed a deer of that caliber.
No. We
Probably never get another one like it.
That's what they told me when my first one was that one right there above that leather chair, though. That 8-point. That real nice 8-point on the wall. And a lot of people said that, you're spoiled, you're never going to get another one. And I mean, you can see there's been some other ones. Mm-hmm. It takes time and, the effort with it, too. There's a lot of hours of scouting, prepping your blinds, prepping your stands, stuff like that goes into it so you can, come on to having success like that.
It's just like this crazy side blows me away.
Yeah, no, I've shot. I mean, nothing of mine's ever been non-typical like that. But you were saying when you took him to get him caped out and stuff, you said that he had like a wound in his shoulder.
Yeah, it was on the opposite side of the messed up part there. He had
on his right side.
It was on his right side. That's on his left side. Right front shoulder was all scar tissue and. I mean, it was all healed over and everything.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out if it was an injury with the body that caused it or if it was a pedicle. And I'm looking at the base of his skull, and I'm thinking that it was definitely more pedicle related, like broke back hard into his skull, and changed that pedicle the way it grew. But yeah, deer's just got so much character, man, that it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was something.
Yeah, but no, I was glad that you guys let me come take pictures of them and stuff that morning with you. And
yeah, we were glad you guys come over and helped.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you got them back in the back of the truck without us coming over there to take pictures.
I don't think I would have dragged them out of the truck, I can tell you that. That was, took 3 of us to get them in the truck. And it was...
Yeah, both times.
Yeah.
Us for a lot of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there was...
Yeah, there's a reason why they call it dead weight.
Yeah. Loaded a lot of deer in the truck, and I don't think I've ever quite loaded one like that.
Yeah. No, that one's a bucket special. I can't say that, with the one I shot, dude, we drove tractor right to him.
Well, we only had to drag him like, I don't know, maybe 30 yards. Yeah. And I was thankful. I mean, it was a wet spot in the cornfield. Corn had no ears on it, and I backed my truck right up there and loaded him up. I wouldn't have wanted to.
No. Jet sleds, dude. Yeah. If you can't get them out, I recommend jet sleds, especially if you're going to end up mounting them or something, or if they get to be a bigger buck. Those jet sleds are good. I've seen those carts be okay, but if you got any kind of soft ground, those tires just kind of bite in. But it's nice when you can get right to them.
I mean, this knucklehead is... We haven't killed a turkey yet. We got messed up this spring on that, on the same farm, which is fine now. We, what were you, 8 when you killed your bear?
Yep.
And that was...
In Maine.
Maine?
Yep. That was quite the experience. I thought that was pretty cool. And now this.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of luck. I definitely think the blind route we're going to go for turkey hunting so we can try to cover up some of the fidgeting.
I'd never fidget.
You cannot fidget.
Yeah.
He's about to fall out of his stool right now. Luckily, you can't see him behind the bar because he's about to fall out of his seat.
We had a nice time we set him up on that didn't work out. And then we finally, towards the end of the season, we were getting a few jakes to come in, a group of them. And had him set up. It would have been pretty much money. But from sitting back, we kind of put them out in front of us so they'd come right into them. And I'm sitting back there going, stop moving. I'm not. And his feet are going.
Dancing.
Like, hey, you got to stop. Those jakes come up, looked over the hedgerow. No, I don't think so. You know?
Pass. But yeah.
It's fun though. I'll tell you. I don't get into deer hunting so much myself anymore, but
Well, and you guys rabbit hunt. I mean,
Yep.
all sorts of small game too.
Yep.
You run coyote dogs. I've been with you guys running coyotes before when you were 5-6 years ago, Dylan. So you were half what you are now. And
Always been doing all that stuff with you.
yeah, he's how many coon have you shot so far this year over the dog?
2, 3.
2, 3, something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of like watching the kids do it. To me, it's just it's pretty cool.
Yeah, didn't you end up winning a coon competition this year?
Yeah, he took second place in the
Mhm.
New York State PKC hunt this year with a buddy of mine's hound.
Yeah.
The youth class, but
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys doing that anymore, man.
no,
There was a few still doing it when I was in school and stuff like that, but not many.
No, when I would have been about the time you're in schools when I was big into it. I mean, there was a lot of people doing it, but it's really, I don't know. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I think us as sportsmen all need to work together a little bit more and probably get along better. And
yeah.
I tell you what, I've seen the turkey population plummet. I think there's a lot of different reasons for that, but
when I was Dylan's age, man, I was running trap line before school.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore. Like the coon damage around the corn lots we've been hunting around I've never seen it that bad. What?
Can I ask what my favorite hunt run?
Yeah, see, that's nice, Dylan. You can see the questions.
Oh, I can.
Wife says, "What has been Dylan's favorite hunt so far?"
Well,
I can't decide between my deer and my bear. They both had fun on, or I had a lot of fun on both of them, but the experience was different on both of them at the same time too. It's like you can't compare them at the same time.
which one do you think is more your favorite?
It's probably if I had to choose one, I'd probably say my deer though.
Yeah. How many days in school did you get to mess with the bear?
A week.
Yeah.
Second week in 3rd grade.
Man, bear fever's real. So in Maine, was that over hounds?
Yep. Friend of mine's hounds.
Gotcha.
I went a couple years before that and shot a bear, and then he
couldn't help myself. I had to go.
Yeah. I like Maine's way of doing it. There is no minimum age. It's up to the parents. I don't think there's a minimum age.
Right.
Go back.
It's it's up to the parents. I believe that's how it should be.
Hunting.
Yeah, it was. How many moose did we see? 20.
Like 24 or something.
I think.
Oh, you're making Hannah all sorts of jealous now. She's been dying to see a moose.
It was pretty cool.
That huge, like it must have been like at least 50-inch wide.
Yeah, the guide said it would have been a 50-inch wide bull.
He said between
like 50 and 55.
That's a big bull.
We pulled into this, clear cut where they're logging up there, and he was in the truck with a buddy ahead of me, and I was back in the other truck. He was with the guide, and we're like, whoa! I mean, they're in full rut. He's got 2 cows there. The steam's rolling off, and I'm like, wow. We saw some really close too, didn't we?
There was one do you remember that one that was like a little one but messed up?
They had like one side or something, didn't it?
It was like 1 on one side and like 3 on the other or something.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of cool stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
How close was that one? That was like right off the edge of the road. It was probably like 20 yards maybe?
Yeah. Didn't Red almost hit one up there?
Yeah. Yeah, that part of Maine we're in. When I went, we saw, I think, 1 moose, maybe 2. Then we took him. It was just every day.
Mm-hmm.
The grouse population up there. Like, you'd be walking down a trail and,
Yeah.
Flush them.
Oh.
Only if we would have brought my 410.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We stayed in a really nice.
How heavy were the ticks in that part of Maine?
Not bad.
Not bad.
I don't think I pulled one off me.
Wow.
I don't know. The guide up there, I don't know if it was true or not, but said, these don't carry Lyme disease.
Yeah, well.
I'm like,
I tell you what, dude, I was up there. We were in kind of south central Maine. I did a property visit up there a couple years ago, and Hannah and me went up on a little vacation, like long weekend thing for it. And on that property that day, I was in a bunch of that property had been clear cut about 5 years ago, so it was just wicked.
Just a wall in front of your face.
Yeah, a lot of it was. And it
Yeah.
was a couple clear cut pockets too that were younger, but I pulled like 70 or 80 ticks off me after it. And it was like, oh, I can't remember the name of the lake I was by, but it was like South Central Maine. It was freaking loaded.
We
Sabago
got
Lake,
lobster
maybe?
while we were out there for Mom.
Yeah, we got lobster for Mom.
So you're more coast way?
We're in Rangeley.
Okay.
Can't tell you. I'd have to look it up.
Where it is on a
That's
map,
really
yeah.
on the coast.
Yeah, it wasn't far off the coast, was it? I don't.
No, because that like where we got the lobster was like 20 minutes away or something.
Was it? I can't remember.
Or no, because you went into town and the coast was there.
No, that wasn't the coast. That was a lake, you goofball.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the coast. The ocean. It was the coast of the lake, yeah.
Yeah. But, so you think the deer story is better than the bear story right now? Or is it just because it's fresh? I mean...
I don't know. I mean, the bear story, we just walk 500 yards and there's a bear in a tree. That's about the only story. That's about all there is for the story.
Well, you got the moose, you got the grouse, you got all the other parts of the experience. That's all part of the hunt with it too.
You got to see what? One or two bears shot before. 2 bears shot before that.
Yeah.
What did we kill? 3 or 4 that day? Or that not that day, but that week. 4, right?
Yeah, because Rod, Corey, me, then
Well, yeah, Wade shot the one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good week. That's pretty full camp. That's a pretty full camp for a week.
Yeah, we didn't. I think when I went, we shot 5. We shot 4 that time. The last bear was pretty cool. He and I didn't go into the tree the last one. It was so high up, it wasn't funny.
It was like 1.7 miles, and 8-year-old me was
way back. Yeah,
it was up on just rock ledges. My buddies took pictures while they were up there in the clouds. I mean, it was pretty fog or whatever you want to call it. But it was pretty cool. I mean, it's different. I'll tell you what, anybody's got a chance to go, that's a pretty cool state to visit.
Yeah. Yeah, I said the same thing when I went out to Idaho last year, elk hunting with my buddy Derek. If you get a chance to go, even if it's, we weren't in a high draw area. I didn't even draw a tag, but he's like, I'm going to fly you out so we can go elk hunt. I was like, sweet, let's do it. And then we find like a mountain lion stash tree way back up in the mountains. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of not feeling it at the moment because I'm not carrying a bow or nothing.
Yeah, that's. And they carry a sidearm up there while they're in, or no?
Nobody's going to give you any flack for it out there. But I don't know. We didn't look into the regs, but he had his 10 mil with him.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't be a big fan of not having something.
No.
That's.
So Jesse tuning in, the Festa, who did the Euro mount, so we could have my buck on the show tonight. Thanks, Jesse. He says, "Shot a bear too. This kid's a killer." Good job, young man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
should have brought your bear with us.
Oh yeah, I really would have put down here.
Yeah, we could put him somewhere. We could hang him on one of the hooks.
You just hang him on those horns.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So the next plan is first turkey.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
Well, rabbit will probably come first.
Wow. Yeah, you haven't shot a rabbit yet.
No. They're a little bit quicker. Sometimes. Other times you freaking about kick them.
The old Beagles. He likes that, huh?
Yep.
Gotten into competition hunting them a little bit. He's starting to do that. It's a riot. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Yep.
So I know a lot of guys too. I don't know if you know anybody that does it. Ryan is fall hunts turkeys with dogs.
I've heard of that.
Flock busting.
I don't know.
That's not your cup of tea.
Nah. If I don't think if you're not calling a bird in, it's not getting me amped up coming in. I'm not. It's not my thing. You know what I mean? I don't begrudge guys for doing it, but
that's what I've heard from everybody until they say wait till you go do that.
Really?
And I'm like, I guess.
I mean, I try it.
I hear it from like waterfowl guys though.
Yeah.
So it's guys that are used to hunting birds with dogs, a little bit different, or upland guys and stuff. Yeah. So you get a little bit more of that. But I guess you kind of flock bust them, and then there's a couple different ways to do it. They flock bust them, call them back.
Oh yeah.
So that's one way guys do it. Another way is like they almost like herd them or run them like beagles do with rabbits.
Really?
And bring them, back into an area or whatever, and then they have a bird come through and you shoot your bird. But that's when they fall flock up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you get into them. So,
I'll tell you what, our turkey population, I think, is so sad around here. I wouldn't want to shoot a hen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. No, I missed out on being able to shoot a longbeard by 2 days this year with fall season. I had a real nice time.
Really?
Had a real nice time in front of me in some of our one of our cereal grain plots. I put a video up. I watched them for like 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there on my phone googling it. I'm like, is it season? I'm not sure. And I was like, oh no, 2 days away. Damn it. And then I went back and never saw those birds again in that field. But seems that's the way it goes. I go like 1 or 2 days before or after with the fall season because it's so short. But yeah, no, fall I haven't got into it. I know a couple guys that go out and they shoot a nice bird in the fall every year. You know, it's just different.
I don't know. The older I get, I think I'm stuck in my ways. But
Mm-hmm.
tell you what, there's nothing to get your heart pumping. Bird coming and gobbling,
Oh, ripping,
pulling them right in your, right in your lap.
yeah. No, I love I love the spring woods. You know, that's second to me for the deer. Deer's my groove, but you know, Dylan's just falling in every groove.
Yeah, sooner or later he's gonna have to start doing this stuff on his own.
You have to start a paper route and start paying for your taxidermy bills.
Yeah, he's got in our pocket pretty good for this kind of comical. Mom came in and to the woods, little brother, to see this, still laying in the woods, and she goes, "Oh, I guess we got another bill coming."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you not mount that? You know?
Yeah, dude. No, that's a heck of a buck. I know a lot of guys will say once in a lifetime deal, but I think you're gonna get a crack at some more good ones, dude, before it's all said and done for sure. Maybe not as unique as that one.
No,
That
cool.
the uniqueness and that gnarly side and stuff like that. You know, actually, I'm gonna hold him up over here in front of the camera and get him away for that bag of chips for the folks at home to see like how crazy cool this deer is. See, Dill, that's what we should have been doing.
Yeah.
You really get the full effect there.
Well, he's got like the multiple points off the back of the thing, the extra beam off the front, the kickers on the base, the 8-point frame side that would probably make him 50 class as an 8-point. You know, if he went as a straight 8, but just the character and then the body. I mean, like you were talking to people that were saying, well, it just gets bigger. Well, yeah, you take him off a 250-pound animal, and then Yep. Yeah, that's what Hannah said. You should show it up closer. Got it. I'm on it. But yeah, that was I don't know what we counted him up at, like 13. I know everybody online was giving you crap, like I count 9 or I count whatever.
I mean, I'm not one to show stuff off on Facebook, but he was holding it like this, and
yeah, well, you couldn't see these.
Proud
with
dad,
them.
you got to show it off.
Much.
You couldn't see this.
Yep. Well, he was so heavy, dude, to hold up.
Yeah.
Like we were like, hold it, ready, Dill, ready, step back, take the picture.
Yeah.
You know,
had to put his knee into it to hold the deer up. You know, I mean, it was just. I mean, yeah, it's probably really more than 11, but he's
11, 13, something.
Yeah. He's a 12-year-old kid. It's a 13-point.
I don't. Yeah. Exactly. Miss Jessie's comment. What are you doing with your bear head, Dill? Or what did you do with your bear head?
We got it on a shoulder mount.
Yeah. That's the one there in the dining room.
No. Well, they're both in the dining room now. Mine's in the dining room. His was in his room.
Gotcha.
He got It's kind of cool. It's got was that like cedar or something?
Yeah, it's like fake wood that goes around the bottom of its neck, and it's got like neat moss and stuff on it.
There you go. Yeah, all done up with the habitat and stuff like that. Was that some? Go ahead, Dill.
I used to have a picture of it. I don't anymore though.
No. You have to have you come back over sometime with your bear mount.
Yep.
Gonna need your help for that one.
It's not very heavy.
I know, but
I just moved it.
Well, that's what I told Hannah. I said if we ever move, I said it'll be the only time I move because that bourbon barrel mount is a pain to freaking move.
That's how this buck's getting mounted.
You're gonna do a barrel?
Yeah.
Pedestal?
Something. It's a pedestal mount.
Mm-hmm. I got barrels. If
it's
you need
got
a barrel.
the whole. That one doesn't have the whole front shoulder, does it?
Yeah. So the one's more of like your, I guess, traditional shoulder mount, but that one shows like the cutaway shoulder, kind of like. Did you do it kind of like Austin's buck when Jim was talking about it?
Yeah,
that's what.
Yeah. So it'll be like that one on the bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is on mine. I had him cap it with leather, and did a really cool job on it. But that shows off that neck. The only thing is, I love the habitat that he put on the barrel. It's kind of cool to dress it up, but it really hides how big that deer's, same idea, how big that neck was on him. And that was kind of the idea with him. But I think it turned out really good.
Yeah, it was the guy that's mounting them was trying to decide what way would look better and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you obviously put the side out, it's going to hide the other side. So we're going to have that side be out, but it's going to show his front shoulder to show just a pierced
Yeah, and that
thighs.
cutaway kind of gives it that extra depth, feel of depth or whatever. So there's a little bit of extra, work in that if he wraps it or whatever.
Yeah, a couple more hours into it.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yep.
Whether he stitches it up with leather on the cap or I've seen some guys like paint them. Some guys actually do like a metal cutaway, which is obviously more custom work stuff. But yeah, I like those mounts. I think if I was going to do my next one, if it fits for the thing, I'd like to do another pedestal or something.
We decided we'll probably build a pedestal. I mean, we're getting it mounted to be on a pedestal. We'll build something.
Yeah.
We got an old barn that fell down. I kind of got it in my head to get a piece of beam out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And something like that.
Cool to have that on there.
Yeah.
Can't remember where the fence post came from. Actually, can't remember if that's something Mike had or if I brought that to him. I can't remember. No, I can't remember.
Are you tired?
Nope, not at all.
Nate's tuning in. So Nate was on dad duty tonight. That's why he couldn't come down for the show. He says, "Congrats, Dylan. Awesome job. I'm sure he'll have many more stories to come."
Thank you.
Definitely. Got to hear the first turkey story when it happens this spring. We do turkey episodes too, But
we're definitely going to use the blind.
It helps.
Yeah.
You got that down, right?
If my dad was here, he'd be able to tell you how many turkeys I cost him over the years with Fidget and Dill. And asking, should I plug my ears yet? You plug my ears? Pop, 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 pop.
How many years have you been going turkey hunting?
God.
Of course, the poor kid missed youth season by what? How many days? Your birthday's on the 25th.
Oh, I missed it by 2 days.
I was going to say 2 days. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. You'll get her next year.
No.
You made up for it in youth deer season.
Yeah.
Yep.
It all happens for a reason, though.
Yeah.
Definitely. Nate also says, thanks for stopping by at the house and showing the deer. That was awesome. Yeah, Nate saw how big that deer was, too. I remember he said that you stopped in.
He was out mowing his lawn with Baby Yowie.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, there's Nate. We hit the brakes.
He'd stop and he sees the point sticking out the top of the bed and pointing at his driveway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But so you're pretty sure you did see him? And
yeah, we did. I went back and looked at the pictures. I mean, I don't set up cameras over there or anything. I help them and do stuff. And we had just taken some pictures of a bachelor group of bucks, of course, with the cell phones nowadays.
The spot and scope and stuff or whatever.
They were close enough to the road. We were just doing it with the cell phone, yeah. And I went back and looked. I'm like, he is in there.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, you can ask Dylan that picture, like the size difference between him and there's 4 bucks in the field.
He's just standing there, and he's like, looks out.
Looks
like it's a.
Looks like he's got a
standing out there with him.
Bourbon barrel for a body, and just they're a different build.
Yeah,
but that's a heck of a buck.
There's been a couple nice bucks killed right there out of the same block this year already.
Yeah, well, less and less of them over there.
Yeah,
you guys are taking the whole hit list off the cell phone.
Thinking, one of the other ones in the picture's dead. There's,
definitely don't more of this guy.
Really? You don't think we can put the air back in him, huh?
No, I don't think we'll be able to stitch him back up, bud.
We'll get the AED out.
Yep. I think his lungs probably got harvested in the corn by now too. So I think you're out of luck.
Corn's still there.
Yeah.
I debated leaving the blind there to crossbow hunt out of, but
we'll just go clock
too busy with little brother and stuff. And...
Yep. Well, actually, have you taken your bow course yet, Dylan? Stuff?
Nope, I gotta do that.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta get your muzzleloader privilege in New York to crossbow hunt. That's all you need.
Yeah. Still got a few days left of that. I didn't even think about that.
So hurry up, let's get it done. Wait, what are you doing?
What do you got?
Oh, look. Oh, damn. What am I going to do? What do I got?
Is that blind still there?
Yeah.
We can go sign it back up.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan can do it, right?
I don't know. I mean, I'll help you.
Well, that's nice.
Well, I mean, we still have all the corn cut down there. It's not like it grows back.
I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't know how that worked.
That's what you call an annual crop, right?
Yeah.
Though, not a perennial.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for crossbow, it's there's a, I forget how long it is. There's a little certification online you take on the DC website. You fill out this little thing, fill out the thing, and go in and get your muzzleloader stamp, and that gets you your, you know, your crossbow tag, your bow muzzleloader tag.
It gets him another either sex tag, don't it? Or not?
Only if he, yeah, another either sex, correct. You'll get an extra antlerless if you bought your bow and your muzzleloader.
Oh,
But he won't
okay.
be able to buy his bow because he doesn't have his bow course
Yep.
yet. But, yep. Yeah. Look at that, Bill. You might even be able to freaking crossbow hunt.
Yay.
You gotta be pretty close to being able to pull back a vertical bow, though, too.
He does pretty good. Actually, we got to take his vertical bow over the prices.
Yeah, get it adjusted.
Yeah, you're getting longer arms, dude.
And
Getting a
poundage up.
wingspan.
Poundage has got to go up.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I'll tell you though, wait till your daughter grows up. There's nothing more fun than going in the woods with your kid and watching them do stuff.
yeah. Well, even like when we were taking pictures of my deer and stuff like that, like my dad and my mom with like Nora and everybody just hanging around taking pictures, and even that part of it, dude, was just, it was a different experience. And I'm sure it'll be, if she decides to do it, and if she, decides it's not for her, that's cool too. But
only gets better.
Like I said, I'd be happy if I didn't kill anymore and she killed the rest of them. Wanted to do it that way too. But, yeah, buddy. Well, my hunt was, I guess, about as snip snap as yours. I mean, yours all happened in what, probably
10 seconds.
10, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
Same. About the same, dude. I mean, I was sitting there that morning before sunup, and I decided to, I had a spot on my 1 year rule calendar that I was going in after a buck that I've had 2 encounters with this year, both times out of range. And I was like, man, I gotta stay on this deer because I'm right on his heels. And there's a couple times where he's been in there just after dark and stuff like that too, by some cameras. And I'm like, I'm on him. And so I was like, I gotta go down in this bottom, but the wind didn't get south enough overnight for me. Need another root beer, Dill?
Sure.
Here, have another beer.
All right.
It's sugared up.
Yep. So wind wasn't quite south enough, so I was like, man, I gotta stay up on top of this ridge. And a brand new stand that me and Nate set up this past season, because I was like, this one doesn't work. It's been in there long enough. Wind doesn't work right for it. You sure you can turn your bow up enough?
I don't know.
Can't
Get it, Sally?
off.
No. Well, that's my hand, not my arm.
Yeah. Different.
Thank you for the clarification there.
Don't spit it out all over the place. Don't get that rack all
Yeah,
dirty.
don't be doing that shit.
Yeah.
Well, why'd you make me laugh? That's all.
But no, so I stayed up on top on that new stand that me and Nate set up, and he'd been on that camera a few times and in that kind of north end of the farm, and I went watching a few does coming through, and I was just starting to think, I don't know, it was probably maybe 7:30-ish after the time change, so it'd been light for almost like 2 hours getting there. And I'm like, that's weird. I haven't seen a single buck cruising. It was 25 on my drive in. It was that cold morning, yeah. And I was like, man, I haven't seen a single buck, like even cruising. I'm looking over a hardwood bottom and a ridge. I'm like, I haven't seen a single buck, just does, here and there. And I'm just panning back over, and I hear just a light twig snap. And I kind of like just look out of that peripheral, and I see him. There's a little divot there, and he kind of comes up out of that divot, and I see the frame. I'm like, oh, that's a good buck. And I grab my binoculars, I kind of pull him up over the side, look at him. He turns his head, and I see all those brow tines. I'm like, oh, okay, I know who he is. So he starts coming up, comes in. There's a little log landing there that I spread some seed into, some cereal rye and some clover. And he starts coming across that plot, and I'm like, And it dawns on me, I haven't even picked up my bow yet. And I'm like, oh. And so he gets kind of behind this branch. I reach over, grab the bow, and he starts walking across the plot. I'm like, he's going to walk right across this plot. I said, this is going to go perfect. And he stops right behind a branch, like a second branch of that maple tree. And in one motion, I grab the bow off the thing, clip up, and get it like this to the next hole where he's going to be. 2 more steps, stops right there, broadside, maybe slight quartering away, and turns and looks completely away from me in the opposite direction. No eyes. I'm just like, okay. Pull it right back, settle it on his heart, and just boom, and watched it go right behind that shoulder, disappear. Takes about 2-3 bounds, and then he just starts slow walking, like they do if you kind of gut shoot him. And I'm like, did I just like boof that 15-yard shot? Like, what did I do? You know, it just acted like he's kind of easing off, all sick like. And I'm like, get the bow hung back up. I get the binoculars up, and I'm looking at him, and he kind of stops in between a couple trees on that ridge, about 50, maybe 40, maybe 50 yards from me. I put the binoculars on him, and it's like you're dumping a water bottle out the side of him. And I'm like, no, he's not going nowhere. He's done. And I was just like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, don't go down the hill. Don't go down the hill. And he just stood there for, I watched him like literally just like pouring like out of a tap for about 20, 30 seconds. And then he just leans down on his front legs, leans down on his back legs, puts his head right down flat forward. Done.
He's dead and didn't even know it.
No, I don't think he even knew he was hit. Went right through on both sides. So when he came in, I was talking to you guys about this earlier. I saw he had like a big bunch of hair missing on top of his back. He had like a big, road rash or something. I even said it in the video I took after I shot him. I was like, he's got, some kind of scar or wound or something going on with his back. I even walked up to him in the woods, took a video of me with him in the woods and stuff like that. But my thing is, it's always been is I don't touch him until my dad's with me to, recover him or whatever. So I didn't even flip him over. Well, we come back with Nate and Owen and my dad and the tractor and side by side, get some pictures and stuff. Well, Hannah was getting Nora around to come take some pictures too. And we come around the side of him, and Nate's like, yeah, it's a good buck. My dad's like, good buck. And I'm like, yeah, you did exactly what buck I thought he was. And then Nate just goes, ugh. It's like, what's that? And I'm like, what? He's like, you got a bunch of pus coming out of his back. I'm like, oh, really? And like I said, I didn't post the picture on Facebook or whatever because it just didn't need to be, put out there if anybody was eating lunch or nothing. But he had a real bad infection on the top of his back. It looks like he got probably twisted around in a fight, and I think another buck got on top of him and, rolled right around on him and put about a silver dollar size freaking puncture wound right in the middle of his freaking back. And it was all greened out and nasty. So unfortunately we decided, better off not to risk it with any infection in him to not eat him, unfortunately. So I tagged him, I reported him, everything like that. But, yeah, we went back, dude. Coyotes haven't touched him. And in my opinion, it's when they're like that, or when I find them with an infection, because I found a couple other bucks over the years died of infection, nothing touches them. Man. They just almost just emaciate down to nothing, and that's it. When they got that bad infection, nature takes care of itself, and they know better than eat it. It's got to have some kind of smell or some kind of something to it where they can pick up on that, dude. So, and usually the crows don't even really touch them. It's weird, But yeah, it worked out. Wasn't exactly the buck I was in there for, but. Like I said, I'm not going to pass up an opportunity at a nice, I thought he was 4 years old. I had a bunch of, like I said, summer pictures of him. No history with him. I look back at tons of pictures because I follow a lot of them, but just a really cool buck. And Hannah said he wasn't big enough to put on the wall, so Euro mount it is. And she's like, well, I meant his cape, and his cape was all slipped out, from the infection coming up through his back and stuff. So I was like, yeah, his cape's gonna be no good. I don't need to go get a donor cape for him either. So yeah, he was, and again, like we were saying, Dill, everything happens for a reason. I think that was the reason why he was coming down that ridge that morning was, to walk in front of me and I put an arrow in him and not have him get an infection and die to death. Didn't go to waste. Yeah, I was able to wrap a tag on him and. put them down or whatever, and not have them literally get an infection and just get sick and die somewhere. I think is a little bit more humane in my opinion. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, the whole thing happened. The longest part of it was watching them lay down in the woods. The rest of it between him when I saw him come out of that little dip to shooting him was probably 10 seconds. It wasn't no time at all. But yeah, sometimes, like I said, those best hunts like that, dude, you don't get wound up. You don't have time to, it was put the binoculars on him, saw it was a deer that I knew, saw it was a good buck. I'm ready to, make my shot. And same thing with you, Dill. You just, like, I get on him, gotta shoot him now. And then I remember you telling me, Ryan, with the story, you said something like, "You better."
Yeah, he was, "Can I shoot?" "You better."
Yeah. But
heard the slap of that bullet hit that deer. I'm like, "Oh, that sounded pretty good."
Yeah. You start to hear those little things, Dill, and you'll pick up on them more and more. But like that smack of that bullet, that hollow thump sound when you put one with an arrow through a deer, you just know it's a good hit, But yeah, maybe it was your buck that came around. I mean, that's about, that one time's about as big around as a silver dollar. I don't know.
Yeah, guessing he was doing some beating up a little bit.
Hey, but he's not broken, dude. That was the one thing. The only thing we found was the chip on the bottom beam thing. We noticed that. This one down here.
Yeah.
But it's not even as bad as it looked when it was on his head. You know what I mean?
Pretty cool, the velvet that's still on him.
Yeah, but not being able to rub it off on the back and stuff. You digging into the chip still?
I don't know.
Or not. You gotta go home and eat dinner.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well, we'll probably end the show there. I think that's a pretty good place. What do you think, Del? You gonna go get the crossbow stamp and go shoot one with a crossbow? You got another weekend, right? This weekend. Another week.
Going away this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be back Saturday. There's still Sunday.
You come next Sunday there, knucklehead.
They said we were leaving Saturday.
Okay, well anyways.
Yeah, gotcha.
Whatever.
Yeah. Next year something to think about. Or get over to Heritage. I'm sure Mike will tune you right up.
I don't need another taxidermy bill, so.
Yeah, you do.
Oh boy, Dill, you're gonna be picking more rocks for me, dude, and
yeah,
weed whacking more fence lines, dude.
Yep. There, the old labor and starting.
Yeah, I know.
That was my first buck I shot with the bow. I didn't end up getting them mounted because I didn't have enough money. I was just starting college, and didn't have the money to get them mounted.
I mean, I'm not complaining. You paid me $20 an hour to just ride around on tractors. So. You need that done anymore?
It worked out pretty good for you, didn't it? Yeah.
Hey, I mean, good help's hard to find.
Yeah.
He knows if he calls me, I'll do it.
Yeah, willing and able help, and we just gotta, like your dad said, we gotta get you to take that slow down step and that critical thinking step. That is a very hard thing to come by, and it'll come with age and experience. And unfortunately,
it's not in your noodle yet at 12, is it?
I mean, I was thinking when there was those bees flying around when I was trying to pick rocks, I just kind of left where they were alone.
No, that's a good start.
There was like 2 patches where there was rocks because they're patches of bees, and I was leaving them alone.
Yeah. Got into some crown bees over there. We were disking up the field.
Then they were trying to figure out somewhere to put a new home, so I just figured where they were swarming and just kind of left that alone.
Yeah. Imagine that. The old pain's the best teacher, huh?
I've heard your stories of the best teacher.
Ground bees are not friendly.
Mm-hmm. Paper wasp nest in a goldenrod field is the worst. Especially it's usually a bald-faced nest in a goldenrod field. Not fun.
Yeah, especially with a not cab tractor.
No. I can't afford a cab tractor, dude.
Me either.
I like your little tractor.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good for you. Yeah, we ended up getting that thing fixed too after that freaking disc top broke. Yeah, you came because we had to get all that stuff. We had to play around with all the equipment that day because everything was breaking on us.
Yeah, and I was going everywhere with you. I had to go out
Getting
on.
parts, getting
And then I got paid in brisket and turkey.
There was some leftover brisket, from the night before,
Not complaining. That tasted pretty good.
No, worked out good for you. And he got paid.
He's 12 years old, made money, and got
Holy
paid.
smokes. Well, I got to keep the fuel in the tank. Otherwise, you're going to
Yeah.
fall asleep like he is right now. But
No,
Getting tired, aren't you?
Kinda.
Mom's probably about ready to tell us it's time for bed. So.
perfect. Alrighty. Well, we're going to cut it off there then. Get Dylan home, get him something to eat, go to bed, take a shower, whatever you do in the evening. And thanks for coming on, telling your story. See, it's not so bad. You were all shy in the beginning, but...
Yep.
We tell Ben.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you coming on, telling the story, and
I'll do more rock picking.
all right, I'll hold you to it. Actually, I gotta get that fence line cleaned up, so maybe you can help your parents pay for some of that taxidermy bill.
Maybe.
All right.
My parents, that's their job.
Oh, yeah, you probably should end it now.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna beat him.
Yep.
on it.
All right, we're gonna call it there, guys. So thank y'all for tuning in for the 100 Proof Whitetails podcast show. Thanks, Ryan and Dylan, for stopping down and sharing the story and some laughs with us. And catch you guys all next time. Take care.